What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another live stream. And the Phoenix Suns just won the Eastern Conference Finals against the Los Angeles Clippers in Game 6. And they finally make the NBA Finals. It's been, I think, 28 years since they made the Finals. And Chris Paul, he advances to his first ever NBA Finals. And it's very well deserved for him. He had such a great performance tonight. We'll get into that later. But the Phoenix Suns, they get into the Finals, and just this team has just really progressed over the years. They really were really going nowhere like a few years ago. They obviously drafted Devin Booker, and for these past few years, I think they've had Devin Booker, and they've just had a really young, inexperienced team, and they haven't made the playoffs. Like, this was their first time making the playoffs, and I don't know how long, but I know it was like maybe 10 years, maybe something like that, since Steve Nash, I think. So it was their first time since then, and they make the NBA Finals, and they were just such a good team this year. All they needed was Chris Paul to make the finals. They had Devin Booker, obviously already. And I think just Chris Paul elevated everyone's game. Just I think Chris Paul is the MVP of this team just because Devin Booker, he's a star, but I think Chris Paul's just the MVP of this team. He um he just elevated everyone's game. I think it's a very young team. He's a veteran presence. I think him and Jay Crowder really brought that veteran presence in, and that's how they succeeded. And Chris Paul, he made DeAndre Ayton. DeAndre Ayton struggled the past 2 years. They were both number. He was a number one overall pick. And just we expected a lot more from him, and we didn't really see it. But this season, he really unleashed how good he was, and I think that's partly because of Chris Paul. Mikal Bridges, some of these other guys. Cam Johnson, even Devin Booker. Devin Booker really improved. Now he's a certified NBA superstar. I think definitely. Um, also, Veer's happy because the Suns make the finals. Beverly did get ejected in that, and I don't know what that was. He pushed Chris Paul. That was kind of pointless, but it was funny. But yeah, it was I wouldn't say it's not the most toxic series. Just I think just tonight things got kind of. I think the Clippers were mad or something that they weren't winning. But yeah, just back to that. Chris Paul, just amazing player, and we know he's capable of this. Everyone said when he got traded to OKC last season, everyone was saying, "Oh, he's washed, this and that." This OKC team is rebuilding. Chris Paul isn't going to do anything, this and that. But then he leads them to the playoffs. He was really just their main leader. They didn't really have anyone else. I mean, they had Shea obviously, but he without Chris Paul, like some of these teams, I wouldn't be in the playoffs. You know, and this is just so well deserved. I mean, I'm so happy for Chris Paul. I think he's one of the most deserved of a ring in the playoffs. When that I mean in the league. There's a lot of legends and players who don't have a ring, and I think notable ones right now are definitely Chris Paul, Carmelo Anthony, those type of guys. Um, so I think if he can win this NBA Finals, I think he'll go down as a top five point guard of all time. If not, if he might be already, I don't know. Well, I mean that's a debate for another time, but he might be a top five point guard. I think he is. I have to think about it more, but yeah, I think Chris Paul is definitely a top five point guard of all time. And yeah, just amazing. He put up 41 today and like eight assists. He can. I mean, he was just knocking. He was just putting up threes and they were just going in, which was amazing. It was amazing to watch. It's just so fun to watch him. And then there's Devin Booker who had 22 points tonight. Just amazing, amazing from him. I mean, not known in his better games. I think in this series he didn't really play as well as he did in other series like the Lakers and Nuggets series. In the first few games with when Chris Paul was suspended, he did play well, but I mean after that, he wasn't on that level. But still, I think going into the NBA Finals, it's gonna be fun to see how this team does. You know, it depends. I think if they play the Hawks, then they'll win, and it depends what happens with Giannis. I hope Giannis is okay. Obviously he went down with that injury yesterday, and hopefully he's okay. Hopefully he can come back. I don't think he'll be playing into tomorrow's game, but I hope he's back for Game 6. I think they'll be having Game 6, so hopefully he's back for that. But yeah, just the Suns, great job from them. And the Clippers, they had a great playoffs. I think they got a lot of criticism. I think Paul George in particular, he got a lot of criticism this season and just in the playoffs. After last season, they were bounced out in the second round to the Nuggets. They came back 2-0 in two series, and I mean, people thought they'd come back 3-1, and I mean, they were literally the comeback kings. And I think Tyronn Lue, he deserves a lot of credit because I think now that LeBron, like he had LeBron in Cleveland, and now that he doesn't have someone like that, he has a Paul George. Like he's now getting more credit because then LeBron was getting all of the credit, and Kyrie was getting all the credit, but now that it's just Paul George. I mean, Kawhi's out. People really realize how good of a coach he is, and he was very underrated before. People didn't really consider him a top coach, but now he's definitely playoff P. Yeah, he did good. I think he did good in the playoffs. I mean, leading his team. With Terrence Mann in that game 6 against the Jazz, that was amazing. And Chris Paul's lifting the trophy, the Eastern Conference trophy. I mean Western Conference trophy, but yeah, I think playoff P. He was okay. We can't be calling him pandemic P. He really proved in these playoffs that he's still elite. And if they had Kawhi Leonard, I think he would have. They would have been. I think they would have won the series. But yeah, yeah. But yeah, that's it. That's it for the video. Short video. I think the Suns, they just an amazing season, and let's see if they can finish it off and win the NBA Finals. That's gonna be very interesting. You know, I don't know. I don't know who. We don't know who they'll be playing. I think it will be the Bucks, but let's see. Let's see what happens with all the injuries. Trae Young was out the other night. Giannis, and just very deserved for the Phoenix Suns. And yeah, I mean they're just such a fun team. I think to watch. This Jay Crowder. He's such a great player. He dropped over 20 points tonight. Um, he's an amazing 3-point shooter. It's just a great young, energetic team to watch. Cam Payne. I didn't mention him. I think Cameron Payne is definitely an amazing presence off the bench, and he's definitely one of the better six men in the NBA. I just love his story. I've seen it multiple times. He was in the NBA, then down to the G League, then he had to go to China. Now he's back in the NBA. Now he's a key player to a championship team. So yeah, it's just I love seeing these young players winning. And then going into these playoffs, I didn't expect the Suns to even get out of the first round. You saw my predictions. I didn't think they were good enough because I didn't think they were experienced. Because half these guys don't have playoff experience, really. If you think about it, look at their roster. Most of them. These are Devin Booker's first playoffs. So the star of their team hasn't. This is his first playoff run. So I just didn't think they were good enough, but they proved a lot of people wrong, all the critics wrong. So yeah, it's great to see that. And yeah, that's it for the video. If you enjoyed, make sure to hit the like button. Make sure to subscribe. We'll be doing more NBA content hopefully soon. With the finals coming up, it's gonna be a very interesting series. Whoever the Suns go up against, very fun series. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. I think I'll be doing a Euros match reaction Friday, something like that. So yeah, see you then and enjoy.